In the last 30 days, we've had Samsung make a lot of moves saying that they're going to actively get into the media business, the content business. Intel, chipset manufacturer, is now going to be a media company. What's your reaction to all these guys kind of encroaching into the digital media sector?
Yeah, I think one, it's healthy because basically a lot of people talking about content is actually positive because you have to have scale, and we have scale. So the more people talk about it, the more people get interested in it. I think it helps. I would say the other thing, and I'll say this directly because I've learned a lot of lessons myself in this, is the content business requires content talent. And it's the same thing if you're an internet business and you want to have engineers, it requires engineering talent. And people are attracted to go to places where that is not just a strategy, but it's cherished. And I think all the companies investing in this, there's not enough talent to make if everybody in the world who's investing in content wanted to make content awesome, there's not enough talent in the world to make awesome content, I think. I think there's a lot of talent in the world, but when you look at it, I think you look at the stuff that Frank has done as CEO of Hearst, who's gone through multiple cycles of changes in technology, changes in the landscape. I would say, I don't want to speak for Frank, but I think one of the things Frank has done an amazing job of is keep an incredibly talented crew and somebody who, Frank's created a company where, I call it the soil effect, meaning he's created a soil that creative people and brands want to plug into to grow. And whether or not all the people you just mentioned can do that, when the vast majority of the corporation doesn't do that. I'll give you another example. In my early days in career-wise in internet in 1994, I think it was, I moved to Seattle to work at Starwave, which was kind of the first content company on the internet. Paul Allen funded it. And Microsoft was about half a mile down the street from us, and they were growing. The campus was like, growing, and they kept making noise about getting into the internet and content. And basically what I learned in that period is we used to live in fear of Microsoft coming into that business. But what you realized was actually sometimes the best place to be is in the shadow of a giant, because the giant actually is really worried about doing other things, and that's a little side project for them. And if you really concentrate your energy in the business you're in, you can pretty much compete with anybody. And I look at some of those investments people are making as kind of creating shadows, and that actually may end up being the best thing for us. Because if those companies realize they can or can't do it, it's going to affect whether or not they want to work with us. And we have probably the largest distribution of over-the-top apps on TVs right now as a business. Part of it's because Samsung and those guys are running around saying they want to get into content, and we actually have built the apps to get onto some of those devices. So I think overall benefit.
Tim, Dave Hendricks with Live Intent. Maybe Scott Kern is also interested in this question. You've done